I recently received a critical analysis of the Talk the Line experiment from a professional engineer, Dobbs. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing out as it's 16 pages long, but I wanted to show everyone this review because I believe it is very valuable analysis from a mainstream scientific mind. And I believe this validates exactly what's going on in the experiment and is a great review from someone who is outside of the flat earth community. Now, I didn't agree with some of his calculations, but he brought up some very good points which otherwise I would not have thought of, and which I addressed in my response letter to him. I've summed it up at the end here. Brian was concerned that I did not have a hypothesis, which I addressed in this letter. He was concerned that upon looking up the values that I have given for the specific gravity and the line diameter, that the manufacturer has conflicting values. So he suggested that I measure the specific gravity and line diameter myself during and before the experiment, which I'll be doing. He suggested measuring the water density and temperature during the test, which I'll be doing. He was concerned how I would be measuring the depth of the line if it did go under the water. He suggested using a styrofoam float with a ruler attached to it, which I'll most likely be doing. His calculations indicated that the saltwater lake would not be a suitable location, but I'll be making another video going through my calculations and showing how it will be viable and it will work at the saltwater location. He was concerned how I would find the midpoint of the line, and I responded with GPS and possibly painting the line in the middle to indicate exactly where it was, maybe tying a ribbon. And he was concerned with the experiment title, as he believed there was no talk going on in the experiment, but I don't believe that that will have any indication of the outcome of the experiment, so I'll be leaving it as Talk the Line. There was one other concern he had with the line tension that I was proposing to use. The 50-pound rating he suggested should be used instead of the 78-pound or 70-pound breaking strength torque or tension, so as not to stress the line and cause any unnecessary elongation of the line. So I'll be running through some calculations in my next video to show that by using the 50-pound tension, it will still be viable. I thank Brian Dobbs for this review, and I encourage anyone else with a scientific mind to also review the experiment and leave some feedback. As always, suggestions and concerns are always heard and addressed, and thank you everyone for your input.